Welcome back to Try Before We Die, the whiskey review show where we don't know what we're drinking, but we will tell you what we're thinking. And by the way, thanks again to all the subscribers out there. We really appreciate your comments, and we like seeing the views go up. Thanks again. Hey, Mal.
What's up?
Not too much. How about you?
Can't complain.
You could complain.
I could complain all day long, but we wouldn't be drinking.
You do complain. And we know the deal. Hundreds of bottles of whiskey in this bar. We don't know what we're going to pull. Randy, our number generator, is going to let us know.
Randy?
Yeah, I'm feeling Randy right now.
Sure. Go ahead. Hit it.
All right, here we go. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Ooh, bottle 121, which brings us right behind Malcolm. So I'm going to go over there and get that bottle, and we'll see what it is. See everybody in a minute. Bottle 121.
121.
Try before we die with a bearded man and a British guy.
As promised, behind Mal for bottle 121. Well, we know we end at 98, 108, 118 plus 3, 1920. For a second, I was like, we've already done this, but we haven't done this. We are pulling up the Glenturret Triple Wood, but this is the 2021 release. We've done the 2020 maiden release, so it'll be curious what we can figure out the differences are. This is a Highlands Single Malt Scotch Whisky coming in at 44% ABV. I feel like that these are a few different sherry woods and a bourbon cask that make up the Triple Wood. And again, we're going to spend a little time learning the differences between this 2021 release and this 2020 release that we've done earlier this season. The Glenturret, again, in this beautiful Lalique bottle. Love the bottle. We'll see everybody back at the bar.
What are you, recycling bottles?
Hey, buddy.
Did we do this one already?
I thought so. I was didn't know I had 2 of these Triple Woods until I took a look at the data on the bottle, and then I remembered doing some research for TBWD Facts that the bottle we opened before was the 2020 maiden release. Here we have the 2021 release. So we'll get it opened and we'll talk a little bit.
All right. And I believe we enjoyed the first one.
Yeah, well, I think we actually loved it. Because I think it really leveled up with a piece of chocolate, if I recall correctly. But let's see. A little baritone.
A little bit.
Yeah, okay.
That's right. It didn't have the sound.
There was these are filled pretty close to the neck, so not a lot of air is trapped in. All right, thanks for capping it. All right, aged in bourbon barrels, American and European sherry, candied orange peel, sweet vanilla ginger, hints of cinnamon and barley, with a touch of fresh oak, coming in at 44%. So, do you recall anything that we learned about Glenturret the last time, Mal?
No.
As a distillery?
No.
It is the newest distillery.
Oh, on the block.
Yeah. It's the oldest working distillery in Scotland. You kill me. You kill me.
I kill myself.
Call you Smalls, right? You're killing me, Smalls.
Killing me, Smalls.
Right. Though Strathela and I believe Little Mill dispute that Glenturret is the oldest working distillery, there does seem to be some consensus that it is Glenturret. Okay?
Yeah. I'll forget it for the next time.
What's your favorite aspect of this bottle? Why do you like this bottle?
I like the channels. I think the channels on the side.
All right, I'm going to forgive you a little bit because you just pulled out a great word in your description. I like the channels. I like the channels too. Okay. I don't think I would have thought of that. Here we are, everybody. These right here.
Maybe fluting is the other word that we could have been using.
That would have been an A+ word.
That would have been weird.
Yeah, that'd be an A+ word. So the Glenturret, owned now by Lalique, the French glassmaker, the Triple Wood.
That's right.
What I've learned in some research is that each release is actually different. And so I'm going to be curious if we're able to recall any differences.
All right.
Okay? All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about color here in this triple wood. Bourbon, American oak, European oak, both with sherry. Those are the three casks that make up the triple wood. 44%, right? Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you consider 44% the middle of the road? Or would you consider it at the low end?
I think I would think anything between 44 and 47 is middle of the road.
Okay.
I think once we move over 50, we're on the high end ABV. And of course, 40 is the low end. So I think we're at the low end of the middle.
All right.
Okay. Classic amber.
Classic. I couldn't. There's no.
This is, and we don't know if you pick it up as well, everybody, but we hope you do. This is a maple syrup amber.
Yes.
Yeah, very clean and crisp.
I don't think there's another word we could use to describe it.
No, I'll agree with you. All right, ready? Let's see what it smells like.
Wow. Weird how quick that diffused. But there's something tangy in there.
The sherry comes through.
Yep.
The sherry cask, two different sherry caskings come through very, very
That sulfur.
plainly, right? That slightly bitter that you'll get from some of these sherry casks.
But there's something was tangy in there on that first one. And it may be just the fact that it just overwhelmed me.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that tang, perhaps that's the orange peel, right? And of course, orange zest will be a bit tangier than actual orange. So that may be what's happening here. So in my swirl, I am now left with a wonderful set of legs.
Yeah.
Right.
Lots of them as well.
Lots of them developing. Some grand legs and some minor legs as well.
You have a good.
Leaves me some hope for some oily mouthfeel.
But it's a very pleasant smell.
Yeah, I'm still getting that sherry bitter.
But not like your floral smell that you have, that lovely, like that Scottish morning, and the smells are coming out. But it is pleasant.
Yeah, it's not punchy, it's not punching. It's a very relaxed aroma.
But the more it mellows out, the more you pick up that sulfury.
I'll agree with Mal there that sherry presence begins to be a little dominant as the whiskey itself is breathing in the glass.
That's good.
All right. Well, I think this will be the test for us as to if we can pick up anything different and discuss what might be different from that 2020 maiden release. I bet we can.
I bet
We won't remember.
No way.
Glenturret, 44% ABV, the 2021 Triple Wood. So I'm exhaling some real nice oaky spice.
Yes.
Right? I'm not going to call it warming or heat. It's more of a spice.
Give it a second.
It's more of a spice. Are you trying to tell me you got some warmth?
There's a little bit more as it started to. Well, it's weird to say this. As it started to relax, I can feel there's a little bit of numbing at the back.
For those of us who like hot sauce, right? Hot sauce tends to come in two directions. One, just painful, and another one is flavorful. I find this spiciness to be more in that flavorful end, not in that punchy, hurt you kind of end. Sometimes you'll have a whiskey that will just burn, not negatively, but will just burn through your body. And something that sometimes we've called the dragon's breath.
Correct.
Right. This is not a dragon's breath spice. This is a pleasant spice for me.
And it's local. I didn't get anything through here really.
Yeah. No,
all localized up in here.
Maybe to here is the end of the flavor experience. It was very light on the front side, resting in the mouth. I let it rest in the mouth for several seconds. It was very light. No real dominant flavors happening on my first pull. How about you?
No.
I still do get some of that orange zest,
Yep.
that citrus
I was
hit
gonna
on
say
the
citrus.
nose. Yeah.
Definitely the oak. You can get that woody, nutty.
So I do think I just picked up some of that ginger or ginger cake, which I think is contributing to that pleasant spice.
On the two sides of my tongue.
I agree with you right there. Be interesting to learn a little bit more about where the taste buds on the tongue are. I know science has actually mapped out the tongue for its spice. I mean, for its profiles, what part tastes what.
Not as oily as I thought from looking at your glass.
Yes.
Definitely has some mouthfeel. I don't feel like it's just washes through you. It has some linger, but it's not like a long lingering.
The mouthfeel for me is on the roof of the mouth. Seems like it collected there the most, and it passed through the rest of the mouth quite easily.
I have to agree with you. That's weird. I'm like, okay, what's he talking about? The top of my mouth.
Yeah.
But yes,
That's where it lingers the most
Yep.
in my mouth, is on the roof. Yeah.
that's a good taste.
Yeah.
I wish I could recall.
Right, so we haven't tried this comparison with the 2020 maiden release.
So it would be nice to recall that one.
So before I put you on the spot with that,
Okay.
right, is there anything in regarding an accoutrement that you think would be super handy? We've got some Glenfarclas whiskey fudge. We have some ginger, some dried candied ginger, some smoked oysters, some blue cheese, a artisanal cheddar from Cabot, a pineapple, cranberry, salt, or orange chocolate. Anything, say, I think I would want to try it with that.
I could always go to the orange chocolate and know I'm going to get away with it. But what I think could be an interesting run is the ginger.
I'm thinking the ginger too. I do have it broken into pretty small pieces, so I think the spice from this candied ginger I think is going to pair well with the spice here.
See, sometimes we are on the same page. I may not remember anything, but occasionally it's like, it's right there.
I really like ginger because it's not potently sweet. I'm not a dessert man. I'd rather have more dinner than dessert. And so a candy like this is appealing to me. So I'm going to demonstrate the amount of conflict that this whiskey and that ginger has. There's no conflict between these two treats.
No.
In fact, I feel like the ginger is increasing the pleasant spiciness of the finish experience.
Okay, so this is the way I approach this. These two complement each other in such a way that the ginger is nearly the exact same expression of the whiskey.
I agree.
I don't know if I would go back to the ginger with this drink because I don't know if it does the justice that accoutrement that I would want with this drink.
It's not an additional something or other, but rather it's more of the same.
Yes. Like
Okay.
if I wanted to, I would just eat the ginger. Or if I wanted to, I would just drink the drink.
So this is a more solid version of this liquid, or this liquid is a version of this candy.
Correct.
It really is. They are so similar because it's that just slightly sweet, spicy experience. So off camera, we may pair with some other things, but I have something for you. It just so turns out that behind me,
You have the upper bottle.
I have the 2020 maiden release, which doesn't talk about that citrus here, but does talk about sweet fruits, the ginger again, vanilla and oak. But this
The vanilla.
came in at 43.
Oh.
Right? So the thing about Glenturret, it appears, and the research seems to say that every year's releases, though will be done similarly and named the same, are done differently.
And that landing you did with that bottle was like watching the moon landing. It was so soft.
Did you like that?
Yeah, it was good.
So go ahead, put that glass down. We'll do a quick And we did this the other day, didn't we?
Did we,
With an
we had-
Abunid?
Yeah. Yes. We did.
So I pulled out a slightly different tasting glass, which, by the way, recommended if you're going to do comparisons, so that you don't get confused as to which is
you
which.
know what I want to do? I want to get my rinse because that ginger
Yeah,
is
do
still
a little
sitting there.
palate. So this is also a nosing glass. We haven't lidded it or anything. So I just want to see, and I agree with Mal, cleanse the palate, if we can pick up any flavor right off the bat.
Okay, the colors are very similar.
Okay. So the 2020 maiden release coming in at a slightly lower ABV. No discussion of citrus, but fruits
Vanilla.
and vanilla would be the difference. All right. I still get some of that sherry bitterness on the nose. That's a different drink.
No, it's not.
As we've experienced many times, Mal can be wrong.
Yeah, it is.
It is a different drink.
Completely different
Oh,
drink.
Mal's right. This is good. We don't experience that often. No, it's a different drink.
Yes.
What makes it different to you?
I think the vanilla, for
Yep.
me, makes this a smoother, less spicy version of this. And I like this because the vanilla, the smoothness, and there's almost a little bit more sherry in this one.
All right, so I'm going to agree with Mal on a little bit more of that sulfuric sherry experience. I'm going to disagree with him here. I found this one to be a bit more spicy,
Really?
leaving the sweet side a little bit more. So I found the 2021 to be slightly more sweet spicy, and this to be just a little bit less in that sweet spiciness. As you dig into the Scotch whiskey world, releases matter. Distillation matters. The same label, pay attention, there may be slight differences. At face value, I believe these look amazingly similar. The big words are the same. You read a little bit down the label, you see a different ABV. You see different tasting notes from the distillery themselves, right? So read your labels completely. Don't just be like, oh, I've had the Triple Wood. You may have had this Triple Wood, but you have not had this Triple Wood. And we've just had that experience.
What was weird though is the older version, right? Or
The
shouldn't say-
2020.
Shouldn't say older version, but the 2020 had a much better mouthfeel.
The 2021, the 2020. Mal, hold both your glasses up. Put down the glass that you favored less. 1, 2, 3. And that's the beauty of Scotch whiskey, everybody. The way you enjoy it, the way you experience it, that's your drink. All right, Mal. Shall we see what the crew has in store for us today?
Candy is dandy, but liquor is quicker. Cheers,
Mate. So tell me, why are you rooting for the 2020 over the 2021?
I like the vanilla. I like the mouthfeel of that one.
Okay, for me, that's due to your affinity for bourbon.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, that's interesting. You pulled it up.
Right. So that's why I think that you're attracted that direction. I really like this this 2021 release because of that slightly higher ABV and that sweet, spicy ending. I really appreciated that because it wasn't a candied ending. It was almost just like that
The
ginger.
ginger.
Right. Not
Which
sweet,
was very interesting.
but sweet.
Very interesting. But both good drinks. Glad you have both. Can't wait for another one.
With a bearded man and a British guy.